What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Battle for Azeroth video. My name is Michael Hogman, and today I'm going to be walking you through one of the new game modes in the next expansion called Warfronts. And Warfronts are going to be something that are going to change the game in a very significant manner. They're a brand new feature, and in my opinion, they're probably one of the top features in Battle for Azeroth, so I think it's important to take some time to talk about it. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to actually explain what Warfronts are, kind of walk you through exactly how they've been presented at BlizzCon, and then further that along, I'm going to talk about some of the things I like about it and some of the things I don't like about it and things that can be, in my opinion, improved or at least added if they have not been already. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into what are Warfronts. And Warfronts are actually an RTS fantasy. Blizzard have tried to combine the RTS game mode from Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 2 into the MMO that we play today, World of Warcraft, right? So with that being said, they are basically allowing us to go into a instance zone with 19 other players, making a 20-person group, and it's going to be Alliance versus Horde. The thing about it, though, is that it's PvE only, okay? So it's your team playing a cooperative mission, a 20-person mission instance, kind of like a raid, like a mythic raid, and you are going to go into these Warfronts, and you're going to gather resources, and you're going to take territory, just like in the RTS game modes. So you're actually going to be taking in, you're going to be like trying to find lumber and iron in order to build different types of buildings, because each faction will start with their own town hall. That'll be a town hall and a great hall. So great hall is Horde, town hall is Alliance, and what you do is you're going to be going in and you're going to build out your army, and your army is going to attack the other base or attack different places within the map that is available. Okay, so as you take territory, which will be throughout the map, there'll be different nodes, I would assume, that these territory places will actually unlock things for you as you go, and unlock your team. Different things such as new buildings. There'll be different types of research you can do, just like in Warcraft 3 and the RTS games. This research is going to make your troops more powerful, or whatever benefit that they'll give. And then you also get new battle opportunities. So, for example, like if you take a territory, all of a sudden, you know, there could be a mercenary, like a goblin mercenary, who's willing to give you his troops for a certain amount of resources or something like that, or maybe no resources at all. And all of that is going to be for the common goal of building up your army and building up these buildings, sending out troops, attacking the enemy base, break down their walls, and take out their commander. And I will get to their commander in just a little bit, but I do want to talk about the first available Warfront that's going to be coming with the expansion. And from my understanding, they literally said like this will be the first. I don't know if there'll be more available in Battle for Azeroth as it launches, but I do see Stromgarde as being the first, because obviously that's what they announced. Stromgarde is in Arathi Highlands, and they've done a big visual update to make Stromgarde very interesting and very cool looking. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And let's talk about the commanders, right? So the commanders are like a secondary feature within these Warfronts. And the commanders are not only going to make each Warfront feel different, but it's also going to be like one of the main goals, right, for this is that you're going to want to be attacking this commander, but also each commander is going to have their own identity and their own play style. So what that means is that these commanders will have a specific build order. These commanders, dependent on their race, will actually offer different benefits to you or to your enemy. And what I mean by that is, like, humans, for example, might upgrade their human troop types, but then like the dwarven commanders might upgrade their riflemen, which are dwarves, right? And there's also different types of racial units or buildings within that, depending on which commander you, I assume, get versus the commander that you're fighting against. Each one of those are going to do different things, and what this is going to do is it's going to pretty much accomplish a feel of different, like a variable dynamic feel whenever you go into these Warfronts, so that when you queue up, say you queue into the Stromgarde Warfront, it's not always the exact same scenario. There will be some differences in there by the different commanders that come out within the actual, you know, battleground or instance, whatever you want to call it, the Warfront. And this is going to be cool. I think that there's a lot to do about Warfronts. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of information to flesh out, and I will continue to do that in videos to come. But the first part is I want to talk about the stuff I like, and the stuff I like is the fact that it's a very large scale co-op mission. Like it's not just 3 people, it's not 5 people, like it's 20 people. And I hope that you can queue with 20 people, and it's not just queuing with yourself or 5 teammates or a cap or whatever. I think it'd be really cool if you could actually take your raid group or whatever, your friends, all into these Warfronts and dominate them together, have voice comms, and I definitely see a good future for that. The interesting part about this is that these Warfronts were explained in a way that like they're implemented, but I feel that when people get into these Warfronts, I feel that eventually it's going to get kind of outdated in a way. And I see the fact that these Warfronts give these awesome transmog sets, these really, really cool armor sets, these weapon sets, and that's really great. I love that that's in the game, but I definitely see if the lack of a ranking system or the lack of a competitive environment. And what I think would be really cool, especially since this is a PvE mode, is if they kind of installed a Mythic Plus version, or like a like a way to scale up these enemies and have that be competitive, right? Because the thing that I've noticed about a lot of these game modes is that difference is great and dynamic, and having different scenarios is great, but I think that eventually people will get tired of it because there's always like one specific area in the game that that is either based on competitiveness or it's based on the rewards you get. Like you either do that for one or the other reason. Like you don't really do that just because it's fun all the time. I mean, I'm sure a lot of casual players do, just play whatever because it's fun, and that's cool. But when it comes down to it, like people want to spend their time on things that are worthwhile. And they get that through being competitive and winning and increasing your rating, or getting a certain reward that is worth their time. For example, like in Mythic Plus, everyone farmed Mauve Souls to get to 54 traits because it was the fastest way to get to 54 traits. And Mauve Souls was just the most beneficial in order to do that, to get your AP tokens. So with these Warfronts, I would love to see either a Mythic mode that's just really, really hard, or a way to scale up the difficulty to make people like genuinely want to be a part of these Warfronts, and then whenever they beat those really hard modes, actually reward the players, to like get something out of that. And this, this doesn't always have to be just about the Mythic Plus system. I mean, it could also be implemented in a way where there's rating, for example. So like you and a guild, your guild can compete against other guilds, and like the timeliness that you are able to kill them and like win these Warfronts or what have you. I just think that there is something else that needs to be added, or at least announced if it's already added, in order to like increase that sustainability, increase the people that want to be a part of these Warfronts, because I think it's such a cool game mode. Being able to basically play an RTS game within an MMO is something I really haven't seen before, and I think that this RTS game mode has a lot of potential, and I think that it can be a lot of fun, but it needs something to keep it going. Because with these commanders being released over time, and with these Warfronts being released over time, and having that new experience, while it's great, I feel like people will eventually start to feel the same way they do about PvP brawls, or even like the weekly chest, right? It's just like, it's there, but like, once you're done with it, you're done with it. You don't ever have to go back and do it. Like once you have the rewards, whether that's the transmog set or getting your weekly quest done, if there's a weekly Warfront quest, whatever, it's just that when it's done, it's done. And I want there to be an extra variable to that, like an extra reason for people to want to go into Warfronts. And to me, that is either offering people a very great reward whenever they win Warfronts in a timely fashion, and like they achieve something, maybe that's like beating a +10 Warfront Strongguard, whatever it is, or for example, having a rating system where you can compete against other teams, against these very hard scenarios, and kind of making it larger than it already is. So that's just my opinion on the Warfronts, guys. I hope that you guys gained some information out of this, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm releasing a bunch of Battle for Azeroth gameplay, or not gameplay, but Battle for Azeroth information, and then when the beta comes out, I'll be doing a bunch of gameplay and stuff to kind of keep you guys informed of the next expansion. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you did, be sure to give a big like on this video, and then also leave a comment down below with your thoughts on Warfronts. How do you feel the game mode is being shaped up? Do you feel like it's fun to play? Like, do you feel like it's going to be fun to play? Do you feel like it's worth your time whenever you're playing it, as opposed to doing rating, because it's the same amount of people, but obviously you can only do rating, or you can do Warfronts. You can't do them both at the exact same time. So just something to think about. Let me know down in the comments below. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.